I don't know about you guys, but I've got a bit of an uneasy feeling in this build up, the lead up to the fight. I don't know why, but sometimes in the lead up to a big fight, you can feel there's an atmosphere. There's everybody's anticipating this big event. It's going to be a moment of truth. Who comes out on top? Adam Smith usually likes to go on about there's an electric atmosphere, the electricity in the air, and yeah, obviously that for in the lead up to a big fight, that's not unusual. However, in the lead up to this fight, I have, as I say, an uneasy feeling. I have a feeling that we're going to see something that isn't particularly nice. I'll be straight up. I think I wouldn't be surprised if there are some shenanigans come fight night. Specifically, shenanigans that are carried out to unsettle Oleksandr Usyk and give Tyson Fury the best possible chance of beating him. And now there's a lot that kind of fuels this, and the vast majority of it comes from the obvious, the blatant pro Tyson Fury bias in the boxing media. And now, if you look at the opinions of, I want to say, the vast majority of objective boxing viewers, consumers, they seem to be picking on Oleksandr Usyk, and they base that prediction on what happened in the first fight and how they see Usyk relative to Tyson Fury in terms of ability, I guess timing of career, all that kind of stuff. And of course, you have the diehard Tyson Fury fanboys who are going to pick him no matter what. That's to be expected. But then if you look at the boxing establishment, the high-level promoters, the personnel within boxing, the organisers, the media outlets, there is just, particularly in the UK, I want to say especially in the UK, there is just this very concerning, borderline bizarre Tyson Fury obsession where they still clearly haven't got into their heads that Usyk has already displayed that he's a superior fighter once. They just treat it like an anomaly. Like, oh, it wasn't meant to happen. Like some kind of extraneous variables were the cause of Tyson Fury's loss to Oleksandr Usyk. It had nothing to do with the fact that Oleksandr Usyk on that night proved to be a superior fighter in many, if not all regards. And it's, yeah, as I say, it's concerning because, and I say this full transparency, you can go back to May when I uploaded my immediate reaction to the fight, which I think I uploaded less than an hour after the fight happened. And I thought the fight was close. After my first watching it live, no ability to pause, rewind, any of that stuff. I said it was, I saw it as being close. And then I followed up the next day, I believe, or maybe 2 days, but very shortly after that, after being able to rewatch the fight, being able to pause, rewind, mute, and really dissect the fight. And then I did a follow-up video saying, yeah, it wasn't really that close. Tyson Fury won rounds and he had success, but it was a very clear, very comprehensive Oleksandr Usyk victory. And I kept that up for a number of reasons, because I'm not really interested in coming across as being some kind of boxing genius. So my initial assessment was way off my second assessment. But I keep that up there for transparency and also as an example of how watching a fight in certain circumstances can actually shape your perception. Yeah, I picked Oleksandr Usyk to win, but ultimately that's just an educated guess, and it's not based on any bias. If the right man wins, fair and square, I'll give him credit. It's really that simple. So I do like to keep that stuff on because it shows, it's an example of how things can change depending on when you watch a fight and how closely you watch it. But it seems like the boxing establishment at large haven't rewatched the fight, because they still carry on, as I say, as if it was some kind of anomaly. It was a blip. It was all these extraneous variables and reasons that Tyson Fury couldn't beat Oleksandr Usyk, and it was almost, they treat it almost like Oleksandr Usyk is an elite fighter, and he's just he's a good fighter, a solid fighter, and he just he managed to catch lightning in a bottle that night and dethrone the amazing, the great, the invincible Tyson Fury. They don't look at Tyson Fury's prior form. They don't look at Oleksandr Usyk's prior form. This is someone who's been a model champion. He has conducted himself exactly how a top-level elite fighter should. A professional, a true professional. If you look up the term professional pugilist, you will see a picture of Oleksandr Usyk because he hasn't put a foot wrong. Just look at his resume, look at his conduct compared to someone like Tyson Fury. And it's always, with Tyson Fury, it's always deception, it's always mind games, it's always lies or half-truths or, whatever. You never get, it's never straight up with Tyson Fury, it's always crooked. And despite that, despite the positive things that Oleksandr Usyk has done for boxing, because he's scuppered the largely financial plans of some, very money-hungry people, he's not getting the benefit of the doubt. He's not getting the respect he deserves. Let's be real. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that interview, that Turkey. Well, it wasn't an interview. It was a three-way FaceTime call that was filmed and uploaded onto YouTube. And Turkey Al-Sheikh was just straight up biased. He wasn't, wasn't some things that he let slip. It wasn't a tone. He was straight up referring to himself and Tyson as we, and saying stuff to Usyk like, "Oh, you've ruined my plans." And he's saying to Tyson, "Fetch me this rabbit or something. Hunt me this rabbit." It's just, the bias is so staggering. It's actually unreal. And as I say, this is just giving me an uneasy feeling because it's so clear. It's so clear that they don't want Oleksandr Usyk to win. And that's very concerning because ultimately, I don't care who wins. I just want to see the right man, the winner, the man who does, who wins fair and square. I want to see him get his credit. I want to see him get the victory that he deserves, whoever that is. I don't care. However, when I get the sense that something's fishy, or when we actually see it, because sometimes in boxing it's very overt, I have a problem with that because you're bringing the sport into disrepute. You're ruining the credibility and the reputation of the sport. And that's the sport we love, so we need to stick up for it. And I know there are going to be some mentally ill freaks, usually Tyson Fury fanboys, and saying, "Oh, you're just an Usyk fanboy and you're preempting the inevitable beating that Usyk is going to have to take, and so you're laying the groundwork to say that he was robbed and stuff." No, I'm not, you half-wit. All I'm saying is I'm expressing my opinion that keep an eye out because they might try and do a job on Oleksandr Usyk for the sake of a Tyson Fury Daniel Dubois fight, a Tyson Fury AJ fight, who knows. But I think it's very clear they don't want Oleksandr Usyk to win. They didn't want him to win the first fight, realistically. But it seems like they're pulling out all the stops now. And there's this weird spell that Tyson Fury seems to have cast over more so the mainstream boxing establishment. I think the Tyson Fury fanboy brigade, they've in many instances disbanded a little bit since he took that beating the first time around, and have kind of come to their senses, or some of them have just gone into hiding. Whereas the mainstream boxing establishment, they're still just sucking off Tyson Fury. It is bizarre. It's pathetic, I'll be honest. Like, if you think Tyson Fury's going to win in a rematch, fair play. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. I did a whole 20-minute video talking about possible ways that Tyson Fury could win and how it wouldn't be the biggest shock I've ever seen. Absolutely he can win it. I'm not picking him to, but hey-ho, like, it's a prediction. There you go. You have to settle on something. And I just think it's more likely that Oleksandr Usyk wins. But, as I say, there's people carry on like Tyson Fury is invincible and he lost by accident. And, it's just a matter of time and he just makes his inevitable adjustments, and they just completely disregard Oleksandr Usyk and what he did in the first fight and what he's done previously in his career. This man's a generational talent, but he gets treated like some kind of blip. And yeah, this weird spell, this obsession that the boxing media have with Tyson Fury is honestly so bizarre. But hey, I'm just spitballing here. It's just something that's been on my mind for a few days. So I think Oleksandr Usyk, he probably needs to go for the knockout. And maybe deep down he knows, because if you watch that FaceTime, there's a certain, I know he's smiling and he's always kind of playful, Oleksandr Usyk, but there's a seriousness in his eyes. And I think he realizes, like, these guys, they're up against me. He's not, they say people smile with their eyes. Oleksandr Usyk doesn't look like he's smiling with his eyes. He's smiling out of, you know, the pleasantries. But hey, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have this weird feeling like me? Because I think they're going to try something. I think there's going to be some kind of controversy on the night. Whether it's enough to, shake it up enough so that Tyson Fury gets a clear advantage, or maybe he gets the W when he's not supposed to. I don't know. Maybe you think that Oleksandr Usyk's going to get favourable treatment. Who knows? Boxing is wacky. I very highly doubt it because, as I say, the bias against him is very blatant, very obvious. But yeah, just my thoughts. Leave yours in the comment section below. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.